During the 1970s, two serial killers that were partners were well known and nicknamed the Sunset Strip Killers. They would go around kidnapping, raping, killing, and sometimes even mutilating innocent women. These partners were significant and unique because they lived in the same apartment I lived in as a young girl. Although we didn't live in the same time period, it's crazy to believe that you can live under the same roof as someone who was able to decapitate, strangle, and suffocate a person with no remorse, acting completely normal the next day. And it's a mystery that only forensic psychologists try to understand. Psychology and criminology are topics that I could go on and on about. And today, class, my name is Bridget Jimenez, and I will be talking about a career that merges both of my favorite topics, which is forensic psychology. With the research I have conducted, I will be describing what a forensic psychologist does, what it takes to become a forensic psychologist, and the disadvantages and advantages. To start off, a forensic psychologist never stops researching and learning. They are constantly looking back at other psychologist studies and observations. They also do their own research by interviewing criminals and analyzing them. But they specifically do this to look for characteristics and traits that can be able to distinguish any normal person, and that you could see a criminal characteristics, if that makes sense. So, with that being said, forensic psychologists do have a lot of responsibilities, such as conducting screenings of prisoners and investigating physiological disorders among criminals. They also have to examine the criminal's mental state in order for them to be on stand trial. They have a lot of skills, and that includes having being able to do observational research and having critical thinking skills. They also need the knowledge of social and cultural issues, as well as having writing and oral skills. The great thing about this job is that their yearly income is in between $39,000 to $100,000 in California only, but it varies within states. If you're a forensic psychologist looking for employment, the places where you can find a job is a police station, a courthouse, or law firms. Besides the skills that you need to be a forensic psychologist, you also need a lot of education, but the minimum amount of education is having a bachelor's degree. But you can also go up to a PhD, but that would take up to 7 to 8 years. You need to obtain state license if you want to be in the courthouse as an expert witness or to evaluate individuals on the court in connection with the law. Some schools that have forensic psychology as a career option and classes to take are the University of Puerto Rico, Carolina, as well as George Washington University and Marymount University. Now, the advantages of being a forensic psychologist is that they can prevent crime. And with that being said, it's a great thing if you can prevent crime and you can decrease the amount of murders in your area. But they do this by analyzing, interviewing, and observing criminals and prisoners and seeing all the characteristics and traits that they have, and looking at different cases or looking around their area to see if people around the area have those characteristics and traits. They also can help in the court to make decisions by convicting, sentencing, and also granting different privileges within different cases. The downside of being a forensic psychologist is the extensive amount of education, because it's very time consuming as well, and it's 18 hours a day when you're starting. But because there are different cases around the world, it can take a lot of travel as well. And it can cause stress because, like an attorney, forensic psychologists have to take one side in a case, and it has to do a lot with ethics, which can not mess up, but can cause stress. After all, this career choice can be difficult and quite scary. It takes many, many years of experience to actually become a forensic psychologist. But I will leave you all with this quote, said by the well-known Ted Bundy. Society wants to believe it can identify evil people, bad or harmful people. But that's not practical. There are no stereotypes. With that being said, there are no stereotypes and criminals are everywhere, but forensic psychologists do their best to decrease the amount of crime. Thank you.